What's going on YouTube? D-Max-Z back here today. I got a couple different exciting things I'm doing to the truck today, but I'm going to space it out in different videos. One being, I finally got, it's a little box, but there's goodies in this box. A couple WC Fab goodies that I've been wanting to do for a little bit here. And I have to take care of an issue that I found while working on my brother's LML, which I'll explain in another video. But the point of this video is we're going to do the thermostat delete in the transmission lines with the WC Fab plug. And I figured, why not? I know eventually I'm going to put a high flow bundle kit on this for $22. Why not get a Whirly custom resonator delete? So as you guys know, these things have a resonator. And I mean, yeah, it's cool. It says Duramax 66. But I hate these things. So these bushings in here go bad, and this thing sits there and rattles, and it sounds like crap. And so I'm a huge fan of WC Fab. My race truck runs a lot of WC Fab stuff. It's all American made, which I fully support, right? I'm not a fan of anything overseas. So I want the premium quality, and this is a nice piece. I mean, this thing probably weighs maybe a pound and a half, 2 pounds. So this thing is not a cheap part, but for $22 I figure, why not? Let's get rid of this thing until I get a high flow bundle kit, and then we're going to delete the thermostat. Reason why I'm doing this, I did this in my parents' 6L80. This will fit some of the gas vehicles too, and this is a really beautiful piece here. But essentially what that does is it heats your fluid up fast, just like a thermostat in the cooling system. And then when it hits a certain temperature, it's supposed to open, go to the cooler that's down in here. By going down the interstate the other day, you know, cruising a little past the speed limit, and I noticed this thing was getting up to 185, and that's okay. I just don't like it, guys. So and you know, I did the Castrol swap on this, and the truck's been shifting so much more, you know, smoother. I'm super happy with it. My foot's not in it all the time. This is a daily, right? So I'm trying not to break it. I already got a fast truck, don't need to go fast in this one. It does sound cool when you give her the bald eagles. So where this is, it's under your intake here. It's actually really easy to get to. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to show you guys where it's at. I think I'll have to remove a couple things. Yeah, it's down in there. So I'll get this taken apart. I want to show you guys how to do this. I did it, like I said, in the 6L80s. But your part number here is going to be right there. See if you can get this thing to focus. Maybe. I'll read it off. WCF 100 469. It's the part number you want for these things. And then this one here, there's your part number. So let's prop you guys up and we'll get started. Alright, so when you guys are up here on the motor, you got your resonator boxes right over here. That's a 13 mil, and then you got your intake here. Those are 8 mils. I already unplugged my MAF sensor. It's pretty self-explanatory. What we're going to do is we're going to take the resonator box free. And once we have this intake system out, we will take off the resonator box completely. And I got these new Icon ratchets, the G2s, and oh man, are they nice. It's a nice day here in Iowa. It's like mid-30s. Little wind, that's why I'm in the garage, just to get the wind out of the camera. Take this out. Once that's free, we can switch to our 8 mil. I'm gonna take it off the horn. Just here. I do this stuff by hand, guys. These are hose clamps. You don't want to hurt these, and we'll take it off of the air box side, just so we don't hurt anything here. Okay. And I've had this out recently, so it should come out pretty easily. I'm going to take the resonator off first, get off that stud, and then I'll work on this pipe here. My creeper's moving on me. It is on there. There she goes. We'll get this off here. Pry. There she goes. All right, so now we'll set that to the side, and we'll get the big box out of there. All right, to get this big box out right here, there's a couple ways you can do it. You know, this is supposed to just lift up and out. So just give it a couple pulls, pries, and it should come out. Just little plastic into rubber down in there. Just be careful because you got a coolant line here. There she goes. There she goes. All right, now we gotta finagle this thing out of here. Just like that. We'll eventually delete all this with a nice intake system. But for now, it's all right. We'll set that to the side. All right. So now that we're here, I'm gonna switch so you guys can see down in there what I'm talking about. All right, so now I got you guys switched up here. This is what I'm talking about. This is a thermal plug, or a thermostat plug that comes factory. So what you want to do is you want to clean this up really good, because mine's pretty grimy. A lot of dust in there. We'll clean it up, and then we'll get a snap ring pliers, and we'll pop that out, and I'll show you guys how I'll do that. So let's go ahead and get this cleaned up, and then we'll go from there. Right, we're gonna spray some brake clean down in there. Get it nice and clean. And I will scrape a little bit just to get some of the stuff off of here. Just kind of break up that items around the snap ring so we get that out of there. Now once you got that, I like to spray some Croil. Croil is kind of one of my favorite things to spray. You can spray on any connections. We'll spray some Croil on that just to help kind of lubricate everything. It doesn't hurt anything to do that. So we'll grab that. Spray some of that nice Croil down in there. And then your snap ring, you want to be careful here. I have to get my right angle ones so I can get some move. Yeah, I gotta get my right angles. All right, let's see if I can get this thing. It looks pretty crusty in there. Don't mind the car going by. Alright guys, so you can see I got that snap ring out. I cleaned, then I sprayed a lubricant, and I had to really, you know, this is just aluminum, so there's a little bit of oxidation buildup there on this metal snap ring. We got to come out, so what we're going to do is we're going to spray more brake clean down in there. Try to get this thing as clean as possible, just so we don't introduce contamination. Now with that out, what we're going to do is we're going to pull that piece out of there. So I'll show you how I'm going to do that. We're going to first attempt it with some pliers, just to see if I can get that nipple. That thing might be in there pretty good. I don't want to mar this piece up right here, because that's where it runs flush in there. So I may need to get a different set here. It may need to even heat it up. When I did the 6L80s, they are in there pretty good. These plugs just, you know, 200,000 miles. Hitting the camera. Oh yeah, she's in there good, guys. I may have to get something in there to heat it up. I don't want to mar any of this piece up here. Let me go and I'm going to heat this thing up, see if I can't get it to twist at least. Alright guys, so ended up getting it out. You can see this thing was just oxidized as all get out. So I marred it up pretty good, but ended up getting it out with my small Milwaukee pliers. I did heat it up a little bit. I know it's probably not a good thing, but this thing was in there. So let's get the other part of this thing out. There is a couple springs in there that you got to make sure you get out. So let's get my magnet. Get our magnet down in there. This might be too big. Yeah, this is too big. Let's see if I can get it by small. Okay, there's that. Thermostat. We gotta get the spring out of there. There she is. There's your assembly. That's all it is. Okay. What I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna put a rag in here and I'm gonna try to clean this top surface where that O-ring was, because it is dirty. So essentially, you guys may have better luck, but mine, you know, being here in the cold and salt grime, you see this thing was just oxidized. It would not come out. So I marred it up pretty good, but I ended up getting a good set of pliers, and after I heated it up a little bit, let that aluminum expand, I was able to get it. So I'm gonna try to shove this rag down in there. There we go, perfect. So now I'm gonna scrape this. Just be careful. This is aluminum. Just to get some of this buildup out of here. It's oxidation all over. I'm just using a small flathead, not marring anything up. Just being very careful what I'm prying on. You want to make sure this is clean. Especially with that O-ring surface, it's gonna go in there. Might hit that with some small Scotch-Brite. Let's get in here. Let's just be gentle. Put that back down there. That's cleaned up really nice. Okay, I think I'm pretty happy with that. We'll hit it. Now let's get that rag out. Hey, she's nice and clean. All right, so when you prep your new one, you want to take, so when you get this box here, and you get your baggie, and I'll show you, put the O-rings on slowly, and you want to lube these up with transmission fluid. Hear an L5P going by. So once you get this just like so, we're going to take transmission fluid and we're going to soak these things. And then we got to put that snap ring that you took out back in. So let's do that now. Alright, I got this thing all nice and coated. May spray. Everything looks good down in there. I just want to... Yeah, it's probably, you guys are yelling at me for doing that, but it's not going to hurt it. Okay, so we're going to insert this. And it should just slide just like that, nice and easy. When you lube these things up right, they should go right in there, guys. Okay, so that's in. What we're going to do, we're going to put our snap ring back in. And, which is right here. I'm going to clean this up. A lot of oxidation on this thing. So I'm going to scrub this really quick, and then I'll turn you guys back on. But soak that in tranny fluid when the O-rings are on, and just give it a nice slight push, and it should pop in there pretty easy. Like I said, if you guys are fighting like mine's very oxidized. This truck almost has 200K, so it's been in there for a while. But I'm excited to get this thing out of here. So let me get this cleaned up, and then I'll turn you guys back on. All right, guys, I got this thing looking much better. So now, we'll put this guy back in there. You're gonna be very careful. You don't fling this thing across the garage. Get it in there nice and slow. And once you got it kind of in there, Just take small flat blade and you can kind of pop them in there just like that. Just like that. And I like to go around in the world and get this thing nice and popped in there. And there we go. She is installed, guys. Get rid of this junk. Oh, there goes the spring. She fell down in there somewhere. That's all right. We'll get rid of this junk and get yourself, spend the 60 bucks, and it's kind of just reassurance because these do fail. Don't get me wrong, they do fail. I get the purpose of it. I just want full fluid. I'd rather keep this trans cool. These 6-speed Allisons do not like to get hot, so let's keep this thing cool. So that's how you install that. Let's go ahead and get the resonator put on right now. I'm gonna do that outside the truck, so I'll bring you guys with me. All right, we're here at the resonator box. We're gonna just kind of, same thing, that 8mm, loosen up that hose clamp. Once it's loose, you should be able to get this thing out of here. Just like that. It's kind of dirty. And there's your resonator. Just a quiet noise. So I should hear a little bit of turbo, but nothing crazy. So the way this thing's gonna go in there is like this. So I want the logo to be seen. So we're just gonna push that in as so. Just like that. I'm gonna wait to push it all the way in until I get back in the truck, and then I'll orientate it the way I want. But I'm gonna put this back in the truck right now, and I'll pick you guys up when it's back in. All right, guys, she's back in. Pretty easy. There's that WC fab there. Looks pretty sweet. And then I don't know if you could see down in there, but the plug is down in there. Sweet. Let's give her a start, make sure there's no issues, no leaks, nothing crazy. She should be all back together. I got the MAF plugged back in. We'll give her a start. Give her a check. You guys can hear me over the truck. See any leaks. Fantastic. Nice. Nice and easy, quick video. How to do this. Got my stickers on the back there. Let's see what the CTS3 says. It's still cold, but we'll go drive it and see what, I'll follow back up on what kind of temps I'm seeing now. Awesome. So if you guys like this video, go ahead and like and subscribe. I hope it's helped somebody out there. I'm also doing a few other work to this truck, which will be different videos. Do an oil change, show you what oil I use. What filters I use. You've heard me talk before, I do the cat oil filter upgrade on this, so I will record that. And then I'm also doing a video on something that I noticed, like I said, working on my brother's LML, is my harmonic balancer seems to be moving a little more than I want. So before I close this video out, what's coming here, my light just died, so we'll show that later, but that's gonna be the next video. I'll do an oil change. While we're at it, I'm gonna show you guys how to change a harmonic balancer on these trucks. I already went to GM and got a couple of parts. I went right to them and just new bolt, new harmonic balancer, and I'll share what part numbers and things you need for these 17 through 19 trucks, but also what to do and what kind of other tools you need. So I'm gonna go for a drive, see how she runs, see the kind of temperatures. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe.